A few weeks ago, we asked you to send in questions, animal-related queries that you might have and that you're seeking answers for. We received a lot of questions and today we're going to answer them. The first question that I'm going to take up is, has the court permitted relocation of dogs from housing societies and colonies, or is the order limited to specific public places? So the short answer is no. No dogs can be removed from housing societies or residential apartments except for animal birth control, where they're taken to an ABC center, neutered, spayed, and then put right back in the same place after 4 days of post-operative care. A lot of people will try to misuse the court's order. That's because the media has projected parts of it without context. Please don't be misled. Take a printout of the Supreme Court's order and read it carefully. It is confusing and contradictory in places, but at no point does it say that dogs need to be removed from residential apartments or colonies or RWA areas. Even when it comes to schools, hospitals, and other kinds of institutional areas where the court has asked for dogs to be removed, the court has at no point said that dogs can be dealt with cruelly or they can be relocated to any other place. They can only be kept in properly made shelters when such properly made shelters are built by the governments. So currently there are no shelters, and therefore dogs in institutional areas cannot be just randomly removed and irresponsibly relocated to any other place. Be very sure of this. The Animal Welfare Board of India SOP also does not say that dogs can be picked up from here and relocated there. It is important that municipal corporation works transparently. You can demand such transparency from them. If any single dog is picked up from any place, the citizens have the right to know where it's being taken. If it's going for animal birth control surgeries, it should come back in 4 days. If it is from a hospital or an institutional area, then it needs to be kept very responsibly with proper documentation in a shelter, which is to be run as per the SOP of AWA. The next question is this. The judgment uses the term demonstrably dangerous. Who has the legal authority to make that determination, and what is the due process? Can a citizen or RWA member make that call? No, absolutely not. Till date, there is not a single act or law that defines dangerous or aggressive or demonstrably dangerous dogs at all. The animal birth control rules don't say it. The AWBI's SOP, which was published in 2022, doesn't say it. But it has been recognized again and again by courts for many years that certain dogs may become habitual biters. And some courts, such as Nagpur bench of Maharashtra High Court, Uttarakhand High Court, have used the term aggressive dogs. Of course, we took these orders to the Honorable Supreme Court in 2023 and these orders got stayed. But this terminology has come back in the 19th May 2026 order. In the absence of a statutory definition of aggressive or dangerous dogs, we need to rely on the SOP published by Animal Welfare Board of India in 2022 regarding dogs which are habitual biters or who bite in an unprovoked manner. For such complaints, the Animal Welfare Board of India has given a procedure. This procedure includes making a committee of the jurisdictional veterinary officer, a member of an animal welfare organization from the local area, a member of the SPCA, etc., to assess the condition of the dog, to see whether the bites have been provoked or unprovoked, and to keep the dog in observation for 10 days. If they deem it right, then beyond 10 days, the dog can be kept in captivity for another 3 weeks. The committee needs to evaluate whether the dog is a habitual biter who bites without provocation, or the bites are being provoked by some person, or it's circumstances or illness that is causing it to bite. If the illness can be cured, the SPCA, the local animal birth control agency, need to take care of the dog, provide treatment and cure the dog, release it back in the same place from where it was picked up. If not, then continued treatment training can happen within the animal birth control center or the shelter, but bi-monthly checkups are mandatory. Keeping documentation of such a dog is mandatory, and this committee of the veterinary officer appointed for the purpose, the SPCA member and the animal welfare organization representative need to check it every 15 days. The next question is, the ABC rules direct that sterilized and vaccinated dogs be returned to their original location. Does the May 19 order override this? No, absolutely not. The animal birth control rules have repeatedly been upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court, and under no circumstances can dogs not be returned to their original location if they are picked up for animal birth control purposes. From institutional areas like schools, hospitals, etc., dogs can be removed only after a specific shelter has been built by the government. Currently, there are close to no shelters built by governments for lifetime care of dogs. But as and when those come up, dogs from within premises of schools or hospitals can be housed there and looked after in accordance with the SOP provided by Animal Welfare Board of India. The next question is, if a municipal corporation launches a mass culling drive citing the May 19th order, what can citizens do immediately to stop it? If a municipal corporation is insane enough to launch a culling drive, then a multifaceted approach has to be done and everybody needs to come together. People who can run campaigns should petition the chief minister, the mayor, or the leaders of the state, come out in large numbers to show resistance to such a drive. People who are good at social media must spread the message that this is not acceptable to the citizens of the state. People who are good with law have now the opportunity to intervene in the High Court matters that will be instituted in every single High Court after this Supreme Court's verdict. By August, these matters will be live in every High Court, and any cruelty, any violation can be reported to the High Courts, but one must go very responsibly with evidence. If there's an order that is violative, that order needs to be placed before the High Court. If any cruelty has happened, then pictures, videos, everything needs to be placed before the High Court. So coming together, using your individual skills and having a multifaceted approach to this is the key. The next question is, cruelty against community dogs has spiked sharply since the ruling. What can citizens do individually and collectively to respond? At no point has the Honorable Supreme Court said that the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act or the Animal Birth Control rules can be bypassed. They have to be followed strictly. If anybody is being cruel to animals, what you need to do is record the evidence with a geotagged app so that the pictures or the videos that you take cannot be refuted. That picture video needs to go to two places. One, to the local police station with a complaint, written complaint. Second, the email ID that is on your screen right now, which is reportdogcruelty@gmail.com. Once we have enough evidence, we'll be able to consolidate it and use it in high courts to get better treatment for animals in your state. Please don't send WhatsApp forwards or just social media pictures, because that does not constitute as evidence. Geotagged pictures and videos along with a copy of the complaint that you've given to the police station will be definitely useful in getting justice for animals. The next question is, when is the PCA Act amendment likely to be taken up in Parliament, and what are the key changes being proposed? Well, the good news is that the bill for amendment of the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act is almost ready to be presented in Parliament. We are hoping that in the monsoon or at most in the winter session, it will be presented in Parliament. So far as we know, it comes with graded and much higher penalties and several improvements. We are truly looking forward to it. But again, we have to keep requesting our Honorable Prime Minister to expedite this matter. Okay, someone has asked a very nice question, my favorite one actually. What is the role of an SPCA in a district, and what can citizens do if their district SPCA is non-functional? Well, the district SPCA in my hometown was not functional, and the only way I could do it is by going to the chairperson, that is the collector or the district magistrate or the deputy commissioner, whatever name you call it, and give a list of agenda items that the district SPCA needs to dwell on, deliberate on in its next meeting. Every state has notified SPCAs and every district has an SPCA. Now, whether they're working or not working depends on you. The district magistrate or the district collector have tons of other boards and committees which they chair, and therefore your SPCA will only be as important as you make it. If you constantly keep reminding of issues that need to be resolved, and there's so many issues that can be resolved through an SPCA. Your illegal meat shops, illegal slaughterhouse, violations in pet shops, treatment of street animals, RWAs, witch hunting street community animals, any amount of work that you need to do in a district all can be done through an SPCA, and they can all be spelt out as agenda points, and the district magistrate can be requested for a meeting of the SPCA. You can also become a part of the SPCA. Please speak with your chief veterinary officer of the district. Ask to be invited as a member if you're not a member already. Ask to be invited as an attendee in such meetings to be able to assist the SPCA with finding resolutions to these issues. The SPCA can also do a lot of outreach work in schools, colleges, with government departments, put up posters, do social media awareness spreading, etc. I have, from my experience, noted that government, SPCA authorities, the district magistrate, the chief veterinary officer appreciate people who bring solutions rather than just problems. So don't go indicating everything that is wrong with the district. Find solutions. Ask them to adopt a step-by-step roadmap towards solving each problem. You need to know the law. Only then will you become an asset for your SPCA, and that's how you will be able to make your SPCA functional. We have another question which probably is a concern for a lot of you, and that is, can an RWA legally pass a resolution banning community animals from a housing society? Is such a resolution legally enforceable? The first question to be answered is, what is an RWA? The RWA is a non-government organization. It is not an authority in itself, and it does not govern a place. It is not an administrator of a place. It is just an organization that citizens make in order to get the garbage picked up on time, get the guards given salaries and given duties, have the lifts and the streets maintained, etc. Under no circumstances can RWAs ban anything. Just like RWAs can't mandate everybody to wear pink on a certain day, in the same way, they cannot ban or prohibit community animals or feeding of community animals or placing bowls of water or food for community animals. That's something that even the Honorable Prime Minister has asked us to do. So there is absolutely no enforceability in any such resolution passed by the RWA. If an RWA is bullying citizens and community dogs are being banned through resolutions or notices, or penalties are being imposed, or people are being prohibited from feeding animals here and there, then a written complaint with as much evidence as you can gather, must be given to the Registrar of Societies. Registrar of Societies in a district is the body where every RWA is registered. They are governed under the Societies Registration Act, and they cannot act in contravention of the law of the land. Please remember, they are not administrators. They are not government authorities. They are simply a non-government organization, just as any other animal welfare organization. Okay, the next question is, do citizens have the right to know where relocated dogs are being taken, and why are authorities not transparent about this? Well, the first thing that you need to know is that dogs cannot be relocated. They cannot be picked up from one place and taken to another place and released over there. Any dog that is picked up can only be picked up for animal birth control, which is neutering or spaying, and then dropped right back from where it was picked up from within 4 days or 5 days after post-operative care. When dogs are taken from institutional areas, from schools, hospitals, they can only go to a designated shelter which the government has built, and the government is authorized to run it, and the infrastructure and manpower at this shelter has to be commensurate with the AWBI's SOP. No government has made such shelters yet. Therefore, picking up dogs from institutional areas also cannot be done immediately. If a dog is picked up because there's been a complaint regarding aggression or biting, etc., it can only be taken to an ABC center for observation for 10 days and no more. If there is repeated unprovoked biting, it can be kept there for longer only after a committee of 3 people, that is a veterinarian authorized for the purpose, an SPCA representative and an animal welfare organization representative, have reviewed the condition of the dog and established that it is biting in an unprovoked manner. For another 3 weeks it can be kept there, and that's it. It still has to come back. Even for such a dog, relocation is not a possibility. Relocation only adds to the man-dog conflict. It is something that is scientifically inaccurate and completely legally impermissible. If any municipal authority is doing that, you can make complaints, you can meet the mayor, the municipal commissioner in large numbers and protest against it.